Imagine opening your computer, launching a familiar app, and realizing that something you've relied on for years has quietly evolved into something far more powerful, far more polished, and far more relevant than you expected. That's exactly the feeling surrounding the release of LibreOffice version 26.2, a major new update to the world's most popular, free, and privacy-respecting Office suite. This isn't just another routine point release with a few bug fixes hidden in the changelog. LibreOffice 26.2 represents a clear statement about where free software productivity tools are heading in a world increasingly dominated by subscriptions, cloud lock-in, and data harvesting. LibreOffice has always stood for a simple but radical idea. You should be able to create documents, spreadsheets, and presentations without paying rent to a corporation and without surrendering your data. With version 26.2, that philosophy is not only intact, it's stronger than ever. This update builds on years of steady development, community feedback, and real-world usage, and it shows in nearly every part of the suite. From the moment you launch it, things feel faster, cleaner, and more intentional, like a tool that finally understands how modern users actually work. One of the first things longtime users will notice in LibreOffice 26.2 is performance. Even on older hardware, the suite feels noticeably more responsive. Startup times are shorter, large documents open faster, and complex spreadsheets that once stuttered now scroll smoothly. This isn't magic, and it's not about flashy new features. It's the result of deep optimization work under the hood, including better memory management, smarter rendering, and improvements to how LibreOffice handles large files. For users running Linux on modest laptops or organizations reusing older PCs, this alone can feel like a massive upgrade. Writer LibreOffice's word processor has received particular attention in this release. Writing long documents, academic papers, reports, or even books feels more fluid in 26.2. Cursor movement in large files is smoother. Styles update more reliably, and formatting changes apply instantly instead of lagging behind. The styles system itself has been refined, making it easier to manage complex documents without fighting the software. For anyone who works with structured text, like headings, references, and footnotes, these improvements add up quickly and reduce friction in daily work. LibreOffice 26.2 also improves compatibility with Microsoft Word documents, which remains one of the biggest concerns for people considering a switch. Opening Docs files now preserves layouts more accurately, especially when dealing with mixed fonts, tables, and embedded images. Exporting back to DOCX has also improved, meaning documents created in LibreOffice are less likely to break when opened in Word. While perfect compatibility will always be a moving target, this release clearly narrows the gap and makes LibreOffice a more realistic option for mixed environment workplaces. Spreadsheets are another area where LibreOffice 26.2 shines. Calc has received enhancements that make it more capable for both casual users and power users. Large datasets load faster, calculations feel snappier, and complex formulas are handled more efficiently. There are improvements to pivot tables, chart rendering, and data filtering that make analyzing information less painful and more intuitive. For users coming from Excel, these changes help reduce the feeling that LibreOffice Calc is a step down and instead position it as a serious, capable alternative. Privacy is where LibreOffice continues to stand out in a crowded field, and version 26.2 doubles down on that strength. Unlike many modern Office suites, LibreOffice does not require an account, does not phone home by default, and does not push your documents into the cloud unless you explicitly choose to do so. In this update, privacy controls are clearer and easier to understand. Users can see exactly what the software does and does not do, and there are no dark patterns nudging you toward online services. In a time when even basic text editors want to sync your files to someone else's servers, this approach feels almost revolutionary. The interface in LibreOffice 26.2 has also matured significantly. While LibreOffice has experimented with multiple interface modes over the years, this release refines those ideas instead of reinventing them yet again. The default layout feels cleaner and more consistent, with better spacing, clearer icons, and improved contrast. On high-resolution displays, especially for K monitors, everything looks sharper and more polished than before. Small visual tweaks, when applied consistently, make long work sessions less tiring and help LibreOffice feel more like a modern application rather than a relic of the past. For users who prefer customization, LibreOffice 26.2 continues to offer unmatched flexibility. You can choose traditional menus, tabbed interfaces, or hybrid layouts depending on how you work. Keyboard shortcuts are easier to discover and customize, and accessibility improvements ensure that more users can comfortably use the suite regardless of their needs. Screen reader support, high contrast themes, and better focus indicators make LibreOffice more inclusive, which is something commercial competitors often overlook. Impress, LibreOffice's presentation tool, hasn't been forgotten either. Creating slides in 26.2 feels smoother, especially when working with multimedia content. Animations preview more reliably, transitions are less glitchy, and exporting presentations to common formats works better than before. While Impress may not chase every flashy trend seen in online presentation tools, it focuses on stability, control, and offline reliability. That matters more than ever in environments where internet access is unreliable or restricted. Draw and Base also benefit from the general improvements in Libre 26.2. Draw feels more responsive when working with vector graphics and diagrams, making it useful not just for quick sketches, but for more serious visual work. Base, the database component, sees under-the-hood improvements that make it more stable and predictable, especially when connecting to external data sources. These aren't headline-grabbing features, but they matter deeply to the users who rely on them daily. One of the most important aspects of LibreOffice 26.2 is what it represents for the future of desktop software. At a time when many companies are pushing users toward web-only tools and subscription models, LibreOffice proves that traditional desktop applications can still evolve, still improve, and still compete. It respects the user's machine, runs locally, and puts control back where it belongs. There is no countdown clock reminding you that your trial is about to expire, and no sudden feature removals because you didn't upgrade to a higher plan. For schools, governments, and organizations concerned about digital sovereignty, LibreOffice 26.2 is particularly significant. It offers a fully functional Office suite that can be audited, customized, and deployed at scale without licensing nightmares. Documents remain in open formats that will still be readable decades from now, regardless of which companies rise or fall. This release reinforces LibreOffice's role as not just a free alternative, but a strategic choice. Even for individual users, the value proposition is hard to ignore. LibreOffice 26.2 gives you everything you need to write, calculate, present, and organize information without asking for your credit card or your personal data. It runs on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, and behaves consistently across all of them. That consistency builds trust, and trust is something software has been steadily losing over the past decade. What's especially impressive about this release is that it's driven largely by a global community rather than a single corporation chasing quarterly profits. Developers, translators, testers, and users all contribute to making LibreOffice better, and version 26.2 reflects that collective effort. Bugs reported by users are fixed, long-standing annoyances are addressed, and features evolve based on real feedback rather than marketing trends. LibreOffice 26.2 also sends a quiet but powerful message to the industry. You don't need artificial intelligence features bolted onto every menu to be relevant. You don't need to harvest user data to innovate. You don't need to lock people into proprietary formats to succeed. Sometimes, focusing on reliability, performance, and user freedom is enough. And LibreOffice proves that approach still works. As you spend more time with LibreOffice 26.2, what stands out most isn't any single feature, but the overall feeling of maturity. This is software that knows what it is and what it wants to be. It doesn't try to mimic every trend coming out of Silicon Valley, and it doesn't apologize for being different. Instead, it quietly improves the core experience release after release until one day you realize you don't actually miss the alternatives anymore. For anyone who has dismissed LibreOffice in the past as clunky, outdated, or only suitable as a last resort, version 26.2 is worth a second look. It's faster, cleaner, more compatible, and more user-friendly than ever before. For longtime users, it feels like a reward for sticking around, a confirmation that the project is not only alive, but thriving. In a world where software increasingly feels temporary and disposable, LibreOffice 26.2 feels solid and dependable. It respects your time, your hardware, and your privacy. It reminds us that free software doesn't mean lower quality, and that powerful tools don't have to come with strings attached. This update isn't just about new features or performance gains. It's about proving, once again, that an open, user-focused Office suite still has a place in the modern digital world, and that place might be bigger than ever.